You ever hear a doctor tell a billionaire, "You've got 1 day left at most," right to her face? That's how my story starts, except I wasn't the one in the hospital bed or the one holding the checkbook. I was the kid nobody noticed, peeking through a third-floor window at Mount Sinai Hospital, trying to stay invisible while the world spun mad inside. Victoria Blackwood. Yeah, the Victoria Blackwood, queen of a billion-dollar pharma empire, was gripping her little girl's hands so tight, like if she just held on hard enough, maybe 7-year-old Isabella wouldn't slip away. The head nurse whispered something about moving all the other patients out, making sure the Blackwoods didn't have to breathe the same air as regular folks on their last night together. Me, I was sitting out by the service entrance, trying to keep out of sight, hoping security wouldn't notice the hungry kid hoping for kitchen scraps. But of course, old Harrison, the security guard, always did. "Hey kid, move along. Today's not the day for riffraff." He never missed a chance to remind me I didn't belong. I was 12, looked younger, acted older. Knew every shortcut, every quiet corner in that place, not because I was sick, just because it was better than sleeping out in the rain. But that night, when I saw that little girl up on the third floor, eyes wide open, hooked up to more wires than a computer lab, something hit me sideways. Couldn't say why. Maybe because even from across the lot, she looked lonely. Lonely like I knew deep down in my bones. Inside, it was chaos and quiet at the same time. We've tried everything, every protocol, every experimental drug, the top doc, Dr. Mitchell, was telling Victoria. The only thing that might work isn't approved yet. Victoria's voice cracked, the way rich people sound when their money can't fix what matters. She was about to break when she saw me getting chased away outside. For half a second, our eyes locked through the glass. Funny how someone with everything can look just as lost as the kid with nothing. I didn't go far. I never do. Some nights you just gotta stick close, even if you're not sure what for. And yeah, maybe I knew more than the big shot doctors inside. See, you learn on the streets that miracles don't always wear white coats or cost a fortune sometimes. They're hiding where nobody thinks to look. That night, Isabella's fever spiked, and Victoria tried to bargain with the universe. Paris, ponies, anything if her girl would just hang on. Dr. Mitchell started hinting it might be time to focus on comfort, and Victoria just about lost it. "Is there anything you haven't tried?" she begged. He started listing off all the experts, all the money burned up in pursuit of a cure. But there's a line where medicine meets mystery, and he'd reached it. While they scrambled, I found a better spot out back, where nurses snuck out for smoke breaks. "Poor kids getting the best money can buy," one said, but her friend shook her head. "Best money can buy?" They didn't even check her liver before hitting her with that cocktail. Anyone from the neighborhood would know you can't do that. My grandma used to say the same thing, except she'd be talking about dandelion leaves, not Harvard protocols. She was a healer, taught me which weeds could save you, which could kill you, and that nobody is too poor to help someone if they pay attention. Back inside, Isabella started whispering about a boy she'd seen at the window. "Mommy, he says he'll help me." Victoria thought it was just the fever talking. Meanwhile, I was circling the building, peering into the hospital's garden. Those plants, lemon balm, milk thistle, all stuff my grandma swore by. I knew their power, even if the docs didn't. Then came the twist. The lab results didn't make sense. Isabella was getting worse, not better. "Impossible, Dr. Mitchell barked. "This is the Harvard protocol." But it wasn't impossible. He just couldn't admit it. Admitting it would mean his research, his reputation, maybe even his job would go up in smoke. That's when I realized it wasn't just the disease. Killing Isabella was the so-called cure. My grandma always said knowledge only matters if you use it for good, no matter who you are. I almost walked away, trust me. Nobody in that place wanted my help. But when I saw Isabella convulsing while her mom sobbed, I knew I couldn't. That night, sitting on a cold bench, I sorted through everything Grandma taught me. I knew what I had to do. Out of nowhere, a voice soft, kind, "Young man, you all right?" It was Elena, the night janitor. She'd seen more tragedy in those halls than most doctors. "That girl's gonna die from her medicine," I told her. "My grandma said you gotta treat the person, not just the illness." Elena listened. What are you going to do? She asked. I said I didn't know, but I couldn't just walk away. The next morning, I needed an ally. Elena pointed me toward Dr. Sarah Chun, the only doc in that place who'd put patients before paperwork. You got 5 minutes at 2 a.m. When she takes her break in the back cafeteria, Elena whispered, "But you better come correct." So I dug out Grandma's notebook pages and pages of her handwriting, every remedy, every warning, every bit of wisdom she'd ever passed down. I waited, nerves bouncing in my chest. Right before my shot, I overheard Dr. Mitchell on the phone. "We can't change the dosage. This is our billion-dollar test case." That was it. I was furious. Isabella wasn't a case. She was a kid. At 2 a.m., Elena brought me in. "Dr. Chun, this boy has something you need to hear." Dr. Chun looked skeptical, but when I started laying out what I'd seen, liver toxicity, the signs Isabella was showing, she stopped cold. "Where'd you learn all this?" she asked. "My grandma healed people for 40 years. It's not about diplomas. It's about really seeing what's right in front of you." She pulled out Isabella's chart. Everything I said lined up. "Do you have an alternative?" she asked. I held out the plants, told her about natural detox, letting the body heal when you quit poisoning it. Dr. Chun hesitated, but in her eyes I saw hope flicker. "You'll do exactly as I say?" she asked. "Swear it." I nodded. But nothing stays secret in a hospital full of politics. Dr. Mitchell had cameras everywhere. He saw us talking, started moving pieces behind the scenes. The fight wasn't just about saving Isabella Anna Maria, it was about exposing a whole rotten system. Next morning, Dr. Mitchell stormed the cafeteria with 2 security guards. "This kid's trespassing and interfering with patient care." Dr. Chun stood in front of me, said I wasn't hurting anyone. Mitchell laughed, waved for security. But I had my own ACA recording of his parking lot confession about protecting the protocol, not the patient. "I think Mrs. Blackwood would want to hear this," I said, and played the audio loud. Mitchell went white. Right then, a call came. Isabella was crashing. We raced upstairs. Victoria was screaming. Isabella was convulsing, monitors going wild. "What's happening?" Victoria yelled. "It's just a normal reaction," Mitchell lied. I stepped up. "No, it's not. She's being poisoned by the medicine. If you keep going, she'll die." Dr. Chun jumped in. "He's right, Victoria. I suspected this. It's not the disease, it's the drugs." Mitchell exploded. "You're sabotaging the research." But I wasn't done. "I've got more recordings," I said, and hit play again. Mitchell talking about covering up deaths to protect the investment. The room went still. Victoria's eyes blazed. "You were willing to let my daughter die to save your career?" she whispered. "Security, get him out now." Dr. Mitchell was dragged away, still shouting about lawsuits and research. Dr. Chun took over. "Let's stop everything now." For the first time, real hope filled that room. We detoxed Isabella, using Grandma's protocol. 6 hours, convulsions stopped. 12, fever broke. 24, eyes opened. "Mommy," she whispered. Victoria broke down in relief. Next day, Mitchell tried to storm back in with his lawyers. He found investigators, news crews, even the Ministry of Health. My recordings? Yeah, they were already headline news. Elite doctor used child as guinea pig. Street kid exposes million-dollar medical scandal, you name it. Turned out, Isabella wasn't the only one. I'd been recording for weeks. More evidence, more cover-ups, more families hurt because of arrogance and greed. Mitchell's career was done. Meanwhile, Isabella got stronger every day. Victoria asked me how she could ever thank me. "Don't thank me. Just never let money matter more than a child's life," I said. 6 months later, I wasn't hiding out anymore. Mount Sinai started a new pilot program, integrative medicine. Victoria put 10 million behind it. Dr. Chun ran the show. Me? I got my own Badjamal, Washington consultant, 12 years old, and teaching medical residents about healing from the ground up. Even Elena got promoted for speaking up. Dr. Mitchell? Last I heard, he was trying to get a job at a vet's office, getting calls from reporters about his other miracle cures. He lost everything. Meanwhile, Isabella danced through the halls, drawing pictures of her big brother Jamal. Hundreds of kids from tough neighborhoods got scholarships. I checked every case personally no kid ever overlooked again. You know what I've learned? Doesn't matter how many doors slam in your face if you have real knowledge, a good heart, and you refuse to quit, you don't have to beg for a seat at anyone's table. You build your own window and let the world see you. Medicine isn't about money or status or letters after your name. It's about compassion, about seeing the person, not the problem. So if you ever wonder if one kid can change a system built to ignore him, well, now you know. Sometimes the biggest revolutions start with the smallest voices. Now tell me, where do you stand? Does real healing come from fancy degrees or the courage to see people as people? Drop your story in the comments. Let's see whose voice is loudest now.